Sup lads, welcome back to another video. Now today we're going to be looking at a bit of an interesting topic. We're going to be looking at the top 10 clubs in Britain that have the that basically just to watch out for over the next decade, and keep an eye on. They could be going up a few divisions if they're in the lower leagues. But yeah, we're just going to have a little look at clubs to watch out for, basically clubs with good plans and good solid base to really kick on and do make a statement in English football, and maybe one from Scottish football as well. So at number 10, we've got Norwich City, currently miles ahead at the top of the Championship after being relegated from last year. They're definitely going to bounce back at the first time of asking. 99%, unless they do some sort of absolute Spurs type of bottle, they should be alright. They're just in here because they've got a good young core of players. They kept, surprisingly, most of them as well, despite being relegated last year. I know they lost the likes of Ben Godfrey and Jamal Lewis, but they still got the likes of Max Aarons in that team, Todd Cantwell, Emi Buendia, even Pukki stayed. I know Pukki's not that young, but still. He could score quite a few goals in the last year, mainly all at the start of the season. But, and Norwich, I think they've got a good young club, and in terms of players, and if they hold on to most of them, I can definitely see them kicking on, having a comfortable, maybe and becoming a Premier League staple in the next few years. I can definitely see them doing that. The young players to come in through as well. Hopefully they can really kick on. Number 9, pretty of a cliche one. We've got Salford City, currently in League 2. Although they're really desperate to go up to League 1, and I think just outside the playoffs in League 2 at the moment, but they've still got 9 years. I expect to see them at least up to the Championship by 2030, I'd say. Maybe not quite Premier League level, but I definitely expect them to see them in the Championship, obviously backed by the class of 92, Gary Neville, and the others, David Beckham. I think he's not there anymore. I think he used to be there, but he's not there anymore. But you obviously got, as I said, lots of Gary Neville, Nicky Butt in there as well. Roy Keane, I think, is involved a little bit as well in that. So yeah, I can definitely see them progressing up the ranks a little bit. If they're not this season, I think they'll probably go up next season to League One. And I think they just beat Portsmouth in the EFL Trophy final the other day. So not other day, it was a couple of weeks ago now. But already won their first competitive trophy. Is the EFL Trophy really the Papa John's Trophy, whatever you want to call it? Is that really a competitive trophy? I guess it kind of is in some ways. But yeah, expect to see Salford kicking on in a few years' time. Number 8, the only club outside England we've got here is Rangers from Scotland. Obviously just won their first Scottish League title. And again, they're bringing up they're signing good young players from around the world, and they've got a good young manager in Steven Gerrard, albeit you can't see him really sticking around for too much longer, maybe 1 or 2 more seasons. But then you'd expect the big clubs to come calling, and with Celtic falling off a bit of a phase, I could definitely see them winning the next few Scottish League titles, as Celtic, as I said, going a bit of a rebuild phase, getting a new manager in. But the Rangers, all I think they need to do now, build on this success that they've had, go for another season or 2, and yeah, we'll see what happens under Gerrard, and I think Rangers definitely could end up kicking on from this Scottish title win. Number 7 now, one of the only 2 Premier League clubs here. I've actually got Everton, bit of a surprising one maybe. Obviously, I think it was a few years ago now they got taken over by the big money owners, but they haven't really kicked on since then. I think their high finish was 7th in 2017. But this season they were in the top 4. I think they were top of the league at the start of the season, weren't they? And they've been on a good run. I think they're 8th at the minute, just outside of European football, but I do expect them to kick on. They're making big signings, like James Rodriguez, Allen. They've been linked with a solid move for Kalidou Koulibaly even in the week. I mean, there'll be a big statement signing if they can pull that off. Getting in the likes of Manchester United, Spurs, Manchester City, who've been linked with him in the past. But, I definitely expect Everton to kick on, and maybe by 2030 they could be a top 4 club, or you definitely expect them to be challenging for Europe, obviously moving to that big new stadium as well. I think 2024, 2025 they're moving into that, so that's an exciting new project for them. Number 6, another bit of a cliche one, Brentford. Obviously just missed out promotion last year, got to the playoff final. I think they're in 3rd or 4th again now. It's very inconsistent with Brentford. They have really good runs, but they also have a bit of not great runs. I think they've drawn their last 4 games, and I don't think they'll get automatic promotion. I think they'll be Norwich and Watford, and we know what Brentford are like in the playoffs. They never do well in that, so maybe they could be sentenced to another season in the Championship. But to be honest, if Brentford don't get up into the Premier League soon, whether it's this season, next season, these star players are going to leave, to be honest. And I think they do need 1 season in the Premier League to kick on, and get that Premier League experience in those players. Obviously they've produced so many good players. Ollie Watkins, has come through there. Neil Maupay, Cy Ben Rama, and you've got the likes of Ivan Toney come through at the minute. great players have come through at Brentford, and obviously Brian Mbeumo's there as well at the minute. He hasn't been as good this season he was last season, but he's still doing good for them. But I do expect to see Brentford as a Premier League club in maybe the next few years. They almost were this year, to be fair, but not quite. It wasn't meant to be in the end, was it? But yeah, definitely expect them to see them go up, whether it be this year, next year, or definitely in the next few years. Number 5, we're actually taking a trip all the way down the leagues to the 5th tier of English football, Wrexham, for this one. Obviously, I think we've all heard the story right now, been overtaken by big Hollywood owners. Ryan Reynolds has come in there, and yeah, it's probably, I think they're in a good position to go up this year. I think they're like 5th, I think, in the National League, somewhere around there. Well, last time I checked, they were anyway. And they have big money. They're going to bring in big players. Maybe in the next 1 or 2 years they can go up to League 2, and then where will it go from there? Obviously they might not want to stick around for a while, the owners, but hopefully they do. Wrexham could build a good solid club, a bit like Salford, but a bit different. Obviously Salford was the class of '92, and they've come from a bit further down the leagues as well. I think Salford were in like the 8th or 9th tier when the class of '92 bought them. Wrexham obviously in the 5th tier. A good club from Wales, and maybe in the future they could end up challenging the likes of Swansea and Cardiff for the best club in Wales. But it's going to be a while before they do that. Yeah, I think they were previously in the league not too long ago, I think. But I hope they should be on their way back there. I think they do, as I said, quite well in the league, National League this year, and hopefully they can kick on and become a good football league club soon. Number 4, a club definitely wouldn't have expected to be on this list a few years ago, Bolton Wanderers. They've had their real financial struggles. They almost went out of business a couple years ago, but now they've got good owners. I think they're 3rd in League 2 at the minute after a poor start. I think they're around 18th at Christmas, but it's so tight in that League 2 table. They had a good run of form, I think 6 wins in a row, lifted them all the way up to the playoffs. They're now in the automatic promotion spots, and yeah, obviously they're a Championship club just 3 years ago, I think, but now hopefully they can get momentum back, get back to League 1 next year. Maybe stick around there for a couple of years, then go back up to the Championship. Bolton Wanderers, never a League 2 club, never a League 1 club. They're definitely a Premier League Championship kind of area club. And yeah, hopefully they're on their way back soon. And again, hopefully we'll be seeing them in the Premier League again in the next few years. Number 3, the last Premier League club. I think it's another pretty obvious one, Leicester City. I made a video about them the other week of where their 2015-16 title winners were. Now, if you do want to go check that out, the link, but it'll be on my channel page if you want to go check that out. Again, another good club. They got a good philosophy since winning the league. They've really built a quality squad. Maddison, Vardy still there, Schmeichel. They've had good players in the past like Mahrez, Kante, and even now they've got, as I said, Barnes, Maddison, Vardy, Schmeichel, many more, and Didi, Soyuncu, Fofana, all great players. Pereira, I can go on forever. But Leicester really becoming a top 4 club now, and really threatening the strength of the top 6 clubs. And yeah, we could really see them kicking on, becoming a proper top 6 club in the next 10 years. Now getting into the top 2, the silver medal in the list is going to go to Barnsley. Real shock this year. One of the favourites to go down at the start of the season, stayed up by the skin of their teeth last year in the Championship. And now I think they're 5th or something in the league. They've got a good young squad. They're building a good philosophy. I think they've got quite rich owners as well, Barnsley. But, they're building a really good team. And, they could realistically go up to the Premier League this year. Who would have thought that at the start of the season? But, they're building a good young team, as I said, good young philosophy with good players. And clearly it's working out. Good manager as well. I think they got to the FA Cup, I think when they were playing Chelsea the other week. It was a few weeks ago now. They played really well. I was really impressed with them. I thought they were almost a better team. They gave Chelsea a really good game, albeit Chelsea did have a bit of a rotated side, but still, to give a Premier League side like Chelsea a really good go, I was really impressed with that from them. And yeah, hopefully, I definitely expect them to see them in the Premier League in the next 5 or 6 years. And they're definitely a club to watch out for. And number 1 spot, the club you need to be watching out for over the next 10 years is going to be Lincoln City. Obviously, everything's got better from them. 2016-17 obviously is a non-league club. They got to the quarterfinals of the FA Cup, incredible story. Knocked out a Premier League side, Burnley. Albeit they lost 5-0 to Arsenal, but still to get to that stage is an incredible achievement for them. And obviously I think they went up to League 2 that season. It took them 2 years. Now they're up to League 1, and now they were really challenging for automatic promotion. I think they've fallen off a bit. They're on a bit of a bad run of form, but they're still up there in the League 1 playoffs. I don't think they've been in the Championship, I think, for over 100 years. It's been a very, very long time. But you know, they're on their way back, and I do expect to see by 2030 Lincoln back in the Premier League, or back in there. I don't think they've ever been there before, but hopefully they can get there. And again, a good young players, good manager they've got. It's the same with all these clubs. You know, they've got good young players. They've got good academy. They're focusing on the right things, basically. So yeah, that's gonna have to do it for today, guys. The top 10 clubs to look out for over the next decade in Britain. Is there any more clubs? The comments are unable to let me know down below. Leave a like if you did enjoy it, and subscribe if you are new. We are trying to get to 100 subscribers by the end of 2021. If you can help out, that would be greatly appreciated. Second channel also in the description, as well as my new clips channel. If you do want to go check that out, they're both in there. Thank you for watching today, guys, and I'll see you soon.